There's a phrase that's been going around that's being used where people are saying this is our new normal. I've heard friends say this, I've heard business owners say it, we've seen it in the media even, and I have been thinking about this for a few days on end, trying to gather some of my thoughts on what does that mean when we say this is our new normal? What does that mean we're accepting by calling any of this normalcy? Which in my opinion, it's the complete opposite of what normal should be in our lives, but also in Canada, one of the most free nations on the planet. Today, if you are in Canada, you may have seen that the government, Trudeau, is announcing that we are reopening the country. And what does that look like? And when you go through and you read the article, there is nothing in these messages that are anything but fear-based. And what does that look like? And when you go through and you read the article, there is nothing in these messages that are anything but fear-based, paralyzing language. And what's not being talked about from the doctors in the media is how this coronavirus has a fantastic recovery rate between 97 up to 99%, depending on where you're getting your information from. But regardless, anything over like a 90%, that's a pretty darn good success rate, recovery rate. And what should be talked about is how this is great news. We're reopening. We want to encourage people that even if you get coronavirus, you have a really strong chance of beating this and maintaining, still being strong and healthy. So that is what's not is happening, and I wanted to just share with you this one quote. He's saying this is really scary. This is Dr. Michael Gardam, I think his name is. He is an infectious disease specialist, and he's part of the chief of staff at Humber River Hospital here in Toronto. And he's also a veteran of SARS and H1N1. And he says that it's really scary. There's a large sense of unknown here, and there's no way around the fact that this is uncomfortable. Why aren't they saying to us, here's how to build up your immune system, here are the things you can do to protect your body, how to defend your immune system and to stay strong, plus knowing that you have such a high recovery rate, and if you're doing X, Y, and Z to boost your immune system from the things that you eat, getting vitamin C, doing workouts, drinking tons of water, getting really good sleep, using chemical-free products that aren't going to suppress your immune system. If you don't know about me being the essential oil queen, like that is me, using all different types of oils to be able to support my immune system, to keep my body strong and have a better chance of being able to fight sicknesses that I come in contact with. But instead, there's this sustained fear that's at the forefront, and there's this push to accept this new normal. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to say, I'd come across a post a few days ago, and I was like, bang on, this is everything I would say, I agree with this. And so I wanted to just share this with you, and I'm going to tag the girl that wrote this because I think she did a freaking killer job, and I wanted to share her words. So there's this push to accept a new normal, one where children stay at home or stay at a distance. Masks overcome smiles and mute conversations. People are avoiding eye contact and fear around them that will cause them to combust. Isolation equates health, and community is to be frightened. Parks are taped off with caution, but fast food lineups wrap around the blocks. Censorship is acceptable, and conversation and debate are not to be held. Sidebar, it's a whole other conversation around censorship as to what they don't want you to know. Why is censorship happening to the extent that it is? That's for another video for another day. We no longer can move freely until we are all mass injected with a rush to market, sketchy at best, vaccine. The government controls instead of working for us. This is not a normal, and I will not submit to that or even humor anything close to it. Children are meant to be free and laugh and play with abandon. Faces and smile lines are meant to be seen and are how we know we are loved and we are safe. Human touch is one of the best medicines that we can offer. There is so much healing in embracing, being in community, surrounded by each other. Playing, it keeps us alive, it keeps us youthful and filled with endorphins and calms our bodies and brings us joy. Censorship means you're hiding something, like I said. Another conversation to come back to. Vaccines should always be a choice, full stop, end of discussion. You cannot mandate a product that the manufacturers are not liable for. Another sidebar, not sure if you know, but vaccine companies have full immunity, meaning there's no risk to them to worry about if there's adverse reactions. If you are a vaccine injured person, they don't care because they have full immunity. They are not liable and they are not responsible for what happens to our bodies. And they are full of documented toxins, which again, if you maybe saw my post the other day, I was saying how if you were to spoon feed a child the toxins that are in vaccines, you'd literally end up in jail. But injecting them, aka no problem, like who cares? And whose safety studies and follow-up are minimal at best and more like criminal in reality. Our government works for us, and they currently are trying to flex muscles that do not have the authority to flex and remove freedoms that they have absolutely no right to. Public health, or the guise of it, does not give them the right to our individual, unique, autonomous bodies, one they have absolutely knowledge about to begin with. We the people need to stand up and say enough is enough. This new normal where we are traced and tracked and tagged and injected is downright unacceptable. Fear is their currency, and they will keep the fear alive as long as it provides them with the power so addictive it fuels them like a drug. We can absolutely protect the vulnerable and maintain being free at the same time. So we are either going to create our new normal based on the freedoms that we stand up for, or we do nothing in submission and allowing them to decide what our new normal looks like, what our non-freedoms look like, because we have seen how much we've been stripped of freedoms just in the past 2 months. And let me tell you, this is just a glimpse of what could come if we do not stand up, if we do not unite, if we do not speak up, and if we do not start to take action now. I've said this many times before. If you've heard me, I'm sure you've been hearing me say it. It is really time to rise. It's time to stand up. And ultimately, you're the one that's going to have to make the decision as to what you're going to do for freedom's sake.